Croatia, Dubrovnik, Game of Thrones, the islands, the crowds, the price tags. The Albanian Riviera, you probably do not know, and that is exactly the point. Same Adriatic Sea, same dramatic coastline, same turquoise water, half the price, a fraction of the tourists, and beaches that have been sitting quietly while the rest of Europe queued up for Dubrovnik. I am going head-to-head across 5 categories: beaches, history, cost, sights, and vibe. 5 rounds, 1 answer. Albania wins this. Here is why. Round 1, beaches. The main reason most people choose either destination, and this is where the comparison gets interesting immediately. Croatia's coastline is genuinely world-class. The Dalmatian coast stretches roughly 350 kilometers from Zadar down to Dubrovnik, dotted with islands, hidden coves, and water that shifts between green and blue, depending on the depth and the light. Zlatni Rat on the island of Brac is one of the most photographed beaches in Europe, a long spit of white pebble that points into the sea and shifts shape with the current. The beaches around Var are polished and beautiful. The Pakleni Islands just offshore have coves accessible only by boat. Croatian beaches are excellent. The problem is that everybody knows it. In peak July and August, popular beaches along the Dalmatian coast are crowded in a way that fundamentally changes the experience. Zlatni Rat at 11 a.m. in summer is not a quiet beach. It is a very beautiful queue. The Albanian Riviera runs for roughly 150 kilometers between Vlora and Saranda, and it has been hiding in plain sight while the rest of Europe looked the other way. Shamil, near the Greek border, has 4 small islands just offshore and water so clear the boats look like they are floating in the air. Dermi sits beneath the Shironian Mountains, a long crescent of white pebble with a handful of beach bars and almost no one on it outside of August. Himara has a quieter, more local feel than anything you will find on the Croatian coast at equivalent prices. The mountains meet the sea here in a way that is dramatic and largely unphotographed by Western travel media. The roads are rough in places, the infrastructure is less polished than Croatia, and the beaches are extraordinary. Albania is where Croatia was 20 years ago. That is not a criticism. It is the entire reason to go. Albanian Riviera leads after round 1. Round 2 is where Croatia makes its strongest argument, and it is a convincing one. Round 2, old towns in history, Croatia's home turf. Croatia has some of the best preserved medieval architecture on the Adriatic, and Dubrovnik is the centerpiece of all of it. The old city walls of Dubrovnik are among the most complete medieval fortifications in the world. Walking the full circuit at dawn, before the cruise ships arrive, with the terracotta rooftops below you and the sea on every side, is one of the great travel experiences in Europe. The limestone streets, the Franciscan monastery with its medieval pharmacy, the rector's palace. Dubrovnik is not overhyped. It earns every word written about it. Split is different in character and equally rewarding. The entire old town is built inside the walls of Diocletian's palace, a Roman emperor's retirement complex from the 4th century AD. People live, eat, and shop inside a Roman palace. Apartments occupy what were once imperial corridors. It is one of the most extraordinary pieces of living history in the Mediterranean. Trogir, Šibenik, Korčula, Croatia keeps producing medieval towns of genuine quality. History here is not a museum piece. It is the fabric of the place. Albania's history is older, stranger, and far less visited. Butrint, near Saranda, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most important ancient cities in the Balkans. Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Venetian layers built on top of each other across 3,000 years of continuous settlement, and you can walk through all of them in an afternoon with almost no other tourists around. Gjirokastra, an hour inland from the Riviera, is another UNESCO site, an Ottoman-era stone city built into a mountainside with a castle that has views over the entire valley. It is one of the most atmospheric towns in the Balkans, and most Western travelers have never heard of it. Berat, the city of 1,000 windows, is a 3rd UNESCO site. 3 UNESCO designations for a country most people overlook entirely. But Dubrovnik and Split are in a different category of recognition and impact. Croatia wins this round, and it is not close. One all after 2 rounds. Quick one before round 3. If you are planning a trip and want comparisons like this, before you book, hit subscribe. New destination head-to-heads every single week. Takes 2 seconds. Back to it. Round 3 is cost, and the numbers are going to do most of the talking. Round 3, cost. And this is the round that surprises people most when they see the actual numbers. Croatia joined the Euro in 2023, and prices have risen noticeably since then. A mid-range meal in Dubrovnik's Old Town runs 25 to 40 euros per person. A beer on a Var terrace with a sea view, 8 to 12 euros. A mid-range hotel in Split in peak season starts at 150 euros a night. Island ferry connections add up quickly. Budget travelers need $90 to $120 a day for a basic but comfortable experience. Mid-range sits at 180 to 250. In peak season, more in Dubrovnik and Hvar. Croatia is no longer the bargain it was a decade ago. It is a premium Adriatic destination with prices to match. Albania uses the lek, not the euro, and the exchange rate is firmly in the visitor's favor. A full meal at a local restaurant on the Riviera, fresh fish, salad, local wine costs 10 to 15 euros for 2 people. A beer at a beach bar, 1 to 2 euros. Accommodation in Dermi or Himara in a good guest house or small hotel runs 30 to 60 euros a night, even in summer. Budget travelers can have a genuinely excellent experience on $40 to $55 a day. Mid-range at $80 to $100 feels generous. For the same 2-week budget as a Croatia trip, you could spend 3 weeks on the Albanian Riviera and eat and drink better every single day. Albania leads 2-1. Croatia needs to win both remaining rounds to force a draw. Round 4 is sights and islands, and Croatia delivers. Round 4, islands and sights, Croatia at its best. Croatia has over 1,000 islands. Not all of them are worth visiting, but enough of them are that island hopping on the Dalmatian coast is one of the great travel itineraries in Europe. Hvar is the most glamorous, with a hilltop fortress, lavender fields, and a harbor that fills up with yachts in summer. Korčula is smaller, quieter, and claims Marco Polo as a native son. Vis is the most remote of the main islands, closed to foreign visitors until 1989, when it operated as a Yugoslav military base, and still the least developed, with fishermen's villages and wine made from indigenous grapes nobody else grows. The Plitvice Lakes National Park, inland in the north, is one of the most beautiful natural sites in Europe. 16 terraced lakes connected by waterfalls, all in colors that do not look real. Krka National Park, the Kornati Archipelago. Croatia has natural beauty on a scale that goes well beyond the coast. The ferry network connecting the islands is well developed, affordable, and reliable. Getting between Split, Hvar, Korčula, and Vis on a single trip is genuinely easy. Albania's sites are fewer and less developed for tourism, but what exists is remarkable. The Blue Eye, a natural spring near Saranda, where water bubbles up from an underground river through a pool of impossibly blue water. The Lugara Pass, a mountain road that crests above the clouds and drops down to the Riviera on the other side. The Uji I Eftote waterfall outside Saranda. Day trips from the coast to Gjirokastra and Butrint fill a week without difficulty. What Albania does not yet have is the island infrastructure Croatia has built over decades. There are islands, but boat connections are limited. The sightseeing offer is growing fast, but it is not yet in the same category. 2, all going into the final round, everything on round 5. And this is where the comparison was always going to be decided. Round 5, the vibe, the round that decides it. Croatia in summer is electric. Hvar has one of the best nightlife scenes in the Mediterranean. The harbor towns of Dalmatia fill up with sailors, backpackers, families, and everyone in between. The cafe culture is warm and unhurried, but Croatia in peak season is also genuinely overwhelmed. Dubrovnik limits visitor numbers to the Old Town walls because of how unsustainable the crowds became. Hvar in August is a party island first and a historic town second. The cruise ship presence in Split and Dubrovnik changes the atmosphere of both places significantly for several hours each day. Croatia is still wonderful, but the version of Croatia you imagined when you first heard about it is harder to find in July and August than it used to be. The Albanian Riviera in 2026 is at the exact moment a destination hits before it tips. Infrastructure has improved enough to be comfortable. Tourism has grown enough that there are good restaurants and beach bars, but the crowds that have defined the Croatian experience have not arrived yet. In Dermi on a Tuesday afternoon, you share a beach with a handful of other people. The family running the guest house knows your name by the second day. The fish at dinner was caught that morning by someone you met at breakfast. That version of travel is almost impossible to find on the Croatian coast at equivalent prices. Albania is also genuinely surprising. It spent decades isolated from the rest of Europe and emerged with a culture and a hospitality tradition that has not been smoothed out by mass tourism. Locals are curious about visitors in a way that feels warm rather than transactional. The rough edges are real. Roads in places are poor. English is less widely spoken outside tourist areas. Some infrastructure is still catching up. But for travelers who find that the rough edges are the point, Albania delivers something Croatia cannot. And I want to be clear about what this result means. Croatia is a genuinely exceptional destination. Dubrovnik is one of the great cities in the world. The islands are beautiful, and the infrastructure makes them easy to enjoy. If you want a polished, well-connected Adriatic holiday with world-class history, Croatia delivers every time. Croatia is the established classic. The Albanian Riviera is the trip people will be talking about in 5 years, when everyone finally arrives and it becomes the next Croatia. Go now. Which coast are you booking? Drop it in the comments and subscribe for a new travel comparison every single week. If this helped you decide, hit subscribe. New travel comparisons and guides every week. Drop a comment. Albanian Riviera or Croatia, where are you going? And if Albania won you over, links to everything you need to plan the trip are in the description. See you in the next one.